Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of CtD Tech Thursday. Thanks, everyone, for joining in right after we went live. Be sure to share the video, whether it be on your Facebook wall or sharing that YouTube link. It's greatly appreciated. Ron, how's it going?
What's going on, man?
Nothing much. How are you?
Good. I'm living the education center life this week.
Yeah.
Every day, 8 a.m. till the sun goes down. You know what? I have not seen the sign that we paid for that is backlit. So maybe, just maybe today, I will be able to see the light on the sign.
There you go. Yeah, that's been up for what, 2 weeks?
Yeah. But hey, this is a real long process to get this building where we want it to be, but it's coming along. We're making some good progress, man. I'm pretty happy where we're at.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's a lot more work than you thought it would be, and it seems like every time you feel like you get something done, there's 5 other things that you remember that need to get done.
Man, I'm telling you, this is my first time doing a big project like this. And it's definitely a lot more work than we thought, but it's good. Like every time that we do something, we make some progress. We find other things that we can maybe make better. Sometimes it's big things, sometimes it's real small things, but nonetheless, all of it matters. And when we're done, when people come see this place, it's going to be very, very different, very, very unique to what they're used to seeing.
Yeah, but all be worth it in the end. And special project got finished up today.
So yeah.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. We may even give everybody a little sneak peek. We may give them a sneak peek.
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah, it depends.
It's an advantage of tuning into Tech Thursday. Get sneak peeks.
Right. That's an advantage for sure.
Yeah. So the topic tonight, of course, is bowling ball reviews. If you haven't been tuning in to Tech Thursdays, we've been discussing our plans sort of for ball reviews. Haven't revealed everything, but once the education center gets up and running, of course, and we're able to get in there, ball reviews are going to be different. So do you want to go ahead and start with that? What you think of ball reviews and what can be better?
Well, man, really what I want to do is we ought to talk about like the ball review process. I think there's a lot of positives with doing ball reviews, and I think a lot of people do really good ball reviews. I think at the end of the day, it's an opportunity for somebody to communicate to somebody who doesn't have the ball what it does, right? Like that's the purpose of the ball review, to hopefully be able to have that person who's watching get some insight or some information on if that bowling ball is good for them. I mean, you're talking bowling balls come out, it seems like every day, every other day. I know last year there was about 150 bowling balls that were released. So, when you look at it from that standpoint, there's a lot of options. And the real question is how do you know what options are best for you in your game? Very, very hard. Very, very hard to figure that out. So doing the review process, watching reviews from different styles of player, watching the reviews from ball companies, all plays a role in hopefully the decision to buy or not to buy a bowling ball, for your game. So, when you look at it, and we've done lots of reviews too, and I think our reviews kind of are along the same kind of par, in the same vein as everybody else. Somebody throws the ball, we talk a little bit about what we're seeing, and we discuss, a lot of the things that are very subjective about the ball and about the lanes and about what we're bowling on to describe it. And I think that's what you have to do, right? That's what you have to do. I think that's an opportunity also to grow, though, because anytime you can make something that is subjective more objective, it puts a little more weight behind it. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's kind of where we're headed. We want to go down that path where we want to educate people with a little bit more data, so to speak, with the review itself.
Yeah, I mean, I can't name one ball review I've seen that's backed with data, whether it be Specto or just really anything, telling me what the ball does and what I can compare it to.
Yeah, the ball companies they'll use those tools, right? They'll use
Oh,
robots, they'll use Specto, but let's be honest, they're also biased, right? Like
have to be, unfortunately.
a ball company is not going to show a bowling ball in a bad light because that doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't make any sense. And the truth of the matter is I wouldn't say that there are very many bad bowling balls, like truly, truly bad. I know, when I created bowling balls, there were definitely some bad ones that I made for sure. But that seems to be less and less of an issue, over time, I think. But there definitely is a difference between good bowling balls and great bowling balls.
Oh, for sure.
And I think, being able to discern that information, discern what's good for you, the bowler, can make a big difference in your game and in your style, especially when you look at how much bowling balls cost. They're not cheap.
No, not at all. So Eddie says, review new balls against the year's prior balls.
Yeah, you don't really see that very often either.
No.
You don't really see comparisons about, well, this is the ball this is the new ball. How does it compare to last year's model? That's a good idea, Eddie. We'll have to put that in our little list of things to do. And that's a great point. I mean, if you guys have options or ideas, please drop them in, or questions, please drop them in here. We want to be able to make this interactive as always.
Yeah. Tech Thursdays are meant to be educational. So if you have any questions or comments, feel free to put them in the comments.
Yeah, absolutely. What's a good ball? We got a question. Here we go. What's a good ball for hooking a bowling ball?
Bowling ball.
Oh, bowling ball. So I mean, if you're trying to hook a bowling ball, I think that's more of a physical attribute. That's a physical game situation. You got to get, your hand in a good position and rotate the hand around the ball to be able to get it to hook. Bowling balls in and of themselves don't hook, right? You've got to apply rotation to get them to hook. So once you get to that spot, then you can begin to see some differences in bowling balls. And then manufacturers, they do a pretty good job of telling people, generally what the ball is supposed to do. I think they do a pretty good job of doing that. Yeah. But I think there's also some opportunity to improve on that. There's opportunity to help some more. Take as much information as you can, make the best decision that you can, and then use that as ultimately what determines for you, the player, what's best for you in your game.
Terrence has a good question. So what do y'all think about the new cores taking the place of the weight holes?
I mean, me personally, I think there's a lot of marketing going on there. I don't think that the new core shapes are really doing anything different, so to speak. You could do some tests to find that out. That's not hard to find out. That's very easily quantifiable, right? You could take a core shape, drill it, measure it before and after, RG differentials, mass bias, and then take a new core, drill it the same way, and see if you get the same numbers. I don't think you would. I think there's a lot of marketing opportunity for ball companies to leverage the core now. But I don't know. I would have to see some proof that the shapes that they're doing are impacting the balls in a different way than they were prior to the weight hole change.
Being a down and in, bowling, a lot of ball reviews don't apply to me. How can I judge when I can't see how I would roll it?
Yeah, I think a lot there, is getting some baselines. I don't think there's a lot of baselines in reviews too. Like when you think about that, like when you do a ball review, what's it compared to? What's it relative to? I think if you begin to do ball reviews in a relative comparison fashion, that question gets answered, because it doesn't matter whether you're playing 25-5 or right down 10. If we all would agree that a twist is going to hook a lot less than a high-end Brunswick ball. So, but if you don't have both those balls for the comparison, then you don't know, there's no way to compare.
Right.
So you need both balls. You need a comparison ball. We call them control balls. You need a control ball when you're doing these testing to really begin to see the difference in the balls. Because what you're most interested in is the difference in the performance of the balls, and then you can apply that to your game and your style of play. Therefore, it's indifferent of the player. A lot of times you'll see people say, "Well, they need to throw it just like me," but that's not the case. You just need to have a relative comparison. You need to be able to compare what that ball does to something else. Then you can begin to make some judgments on if that ball is good for you or not.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of factors that can go into determining that.
For sure.
Let's see.
All right, got one. Oh, you got two. Yep. I have a problem with ball reviews that they use different layouts, which to me doesn't give a true side-by-side comparison. I mean, there's a lot of opportunity there too, right? So like if you test one ball with one layout and then another ball with a different layout, right? That comparison is not true, not a good side to side and side by side. So I think there's an opportunity to grow there, right? When you do ball reviews, do them the same. Have some things that are held constant, have some things that are variable, and control those variables so that you can really do a good job of explaining to the consumer the true difference in those balls.
Let's see.
I see. I got you. I have an idea to do short, medium, and long on both lane services. So yeah, I mean, that's an option too if you're trying to really kind of see some more differences in the balls. We have 2 lane services here, so that's going to be good for everybody when they get to experience that. So we can do that. We can do that. Of course, you don't want to make the review too long either. Nobody wants to watch a review for like 20, 30 minutes. So, right. But there's a way that you can shorten that too. What you got? I'm gonna let you pick this time, Dustin.
All right. This is the one I had. Well, this kind of goes off what our last question was. Would you lay down a typical house shot or match oil patterns to the type of ball?
The same thing. If you're trying to make, at the end of the day, the lane and lane condition controls the ball reaction, right? We can take the strongest hooking ball, put enough oil out there, make it long enough for the ball to still go dead straight. Or take the weakest ball, put at least amount of oil out there, make it off the lane. So the lane condition is the biggest variable. I think that's got to remain consistent. No matter what you pick, it's got to be the same. Because if it changes, then all the balls change and everything is no longer a good comparison.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it, a lot of people are bowling on house shots most of the time too. So sometimes, I could be wrong, but you might see the biggest difference on a house pattern.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's opportunities there when you think about it. Like, if most people bowl on house shots, then doing a comparison on a house shot makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
it makes a lot of sense.
All right, you got the next one.
How did you classify a ball as a bad ball design, and what, if any, they have in common? So when I design ball, here's the problem. The problem is when you design bowling balls, you don't necessarily know if they're good or bad till they hit the market. That's the problem. So you can design a bowling ball, think it's good, goes through the testing process, it comes out okay, but when it goes to the market, nobody likes it. It sucks. I can think of a couple of examples. One of them is there was a ball called Striking Motion, and that ball, when we tested it, it tested really well. But when it got to the field, it was terrible. So that is a bad ball design. And there was nothing that we could do about it at that point. It was already released. And the thing of it is when you put out so many balls, like I was doing about 50 balls a year then. At 50 balls, it's one a week. So they all don't get the right kind of attention. You know what I mean? It's just not possible. As a result of that, some slip through the cracks and you get some bad balls. Now, I think, there's probably less of that happening now than there was even 10, 20 years ago, but it can happen still. I mean, I can think of a couple of balls that manufacturers put out that word garbage. And it probably was because when they tested it, it tested fine. But then when it got to the actual market, it wasn't any good.
Here's a good one. With the market being so saturated with new bowling balls, how can you really decide what works for the ball for the bowler?
Yeah,
lots of balls. from.
Lots to choose from. Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, I think a couple of things there. I think one, you want to watch as many people as you can throw the ball. I think you want to listen to what people are saying. I think if people are talking about a ball 3, 4, 5 months after the ball's released, it's probably a good piece because a lot of balls don't do that. A lot of balls are here today and they're gone, by the time the release date hits. But if people are still talking about them, I think that's a good opportunity to say maybe you want to check that out. Balls that are historically good, those probably are balls that you should probably have in your arsenal. Like there are balls that just roll good. They've always rolled good, so those balls are probably balls you want to add to your arsenal. And then on the new balls, if you have some friends that are staffers, ask them which one they like the best because they're getting more than one ball, more times than not, and it's an opportunity for you to learn from them as well. But yeah, it's hard. It's hard to keep up with even as a person who has pro shops and that kind of stuff.
So going back off of what you just said, what was the problem about the striking motion?
It was a two-part problem. The first problem is when we tested it, it was tested with a thick shell cover stock, and when it went to production, it ended up getting changed to a thin shell cover stock. And what they ended up doing is that made the ball motion very, very early and very, very smooth. So that ball didn't roll very well. It would hook very early and bail basically down the lane. So not a good ball motion.
See anything else on your end?
Yeah, I mean, here's one. So you're seeing a lot of bowling balls now with the dot and dynamic core. What are your thoughts on it? Is it worth getting a ball that has dynamic core? So I think the concept of what they're doing makes some sense, right? What they're trying to do is with dynamic core, they're trying to make a ball that has a higher coefficient of restitution, or basically the way to say that is when the ball hits the pin, the ball has a better energy transfer from the ball to the pin to make it fly around more. I like the concept. Is it truly any better? I'd have to see some real data to back that up. USPC has a test, and it's called the coefficient of restitution. So they actually take a ball, roll it into a pin, and then measure how much the pin moves off the ball and use it as a gauge. And there's a limit. So since there's a limit on that spec, and these balls all are legal, then they fall within that limit. So how much different they really are, I don't know if that has a big impact or not. I know that the idea is a very solid idea. And it's different than with the dot. So dot, I think, is pretty cool. Dot's basically drilling the ball upside down, so the pin's on the bottom side of the ball, and then you mark where you want the pin to be at, and that's how you drill the ball. That common sense, it's a great idea. It eliminates pro shops having to worry about drilling into the pin, because drilling into the pin is really bad from a durability standpoint. So that to me is a genius idea and makes a lot of sense.
Is it possible to have a control pattern, then educate to the adjustments needed for other patterns?
Yeah, but it's not 100%. It isn't 100% accurate, because as soon as you start adding more people into the equation, the lanes break down differently. So that will change how the adjustments handle. You know what I'm saying? If we're bowling on a pattern with one bowler versus 5 bowlers, the breakdown is going to be completely different. If you're bowling with low rev rates versus high rev rates, it's going to be completely different. So there's a lot of variables when it comes to that. But in general, without question, you could do that.
Yeah, I mean, there's also like how old the lanes are, how hot or cold it is. So
if they're flat,
yeah,
flatness matters. The lanes here are actually very flat, but they're not flat everywhere you go. Here's a question: what was the main difference with the hammer? The idea with the hammer razor. So the hammer razor was a bowling ball that we made for hammer at the time, and it was a pancake core with a stronger reactive cover stock. So a little bit different reaction. You basically had a core that didn't want to do anything, but a cover that was really strong. So you got a ball that was usable in a short window, but very useful in that window. I would say that ball would be a ball that, if they made it now, would probably still get some traction, because, you see people going toward urethane, having a weaker core with a stronger shell could give you some useful opportunity there.
Oh, yeah.
Matt said BowlerX uses the same layout on all balls, and that's good. That's a good thing to do. It helps to get rid of some. I mean, there's some things you can control. Like there are some variables you can control, and others you can't. You can control layout. You can control lane pattern. You can control lane surface. But others you can't control. You can't control the lane breakdown. You can't control how accurate you are in terms of being able to hit the same spot per se. So it's about balancing those variables because all of them matter, especially when it comes to trying to do accurate reviews or trying to do reviews that are helpful.
What are your favorite bowling balls on the market right now?
That's a good question. The balls that I think are pretty good that kind of stand out in my mind immediately. I like Radical Results. I think that ball was a really good ball. It got missed. Like the COVID thing, like took that ball out way too early. Proof. I think the track Proof is a really good ball as well. I think Axiom may have had a chance, but same thing. Like COVID took it out. The new IQ Nano. That one looks really good. Let me see. I got a whole bunch of balls sitting over here that we haven't even got to drill up yet and test. So you give me like 2 or 3 weeks, I'll be able to give you a real good idea because we got a whole bunch of balls in that we got to get looked at. So, but yeah, those are probably the ones that just stick up in my mind like immediately right now. What else we got here? Let's see here.
Short pin or urethane?
So I think if you're a high rev rate bowler or slower ball speed, urethane. If you are a normal speed, if you're not a high rev rate bowler, then it's short pin reactive because you still need the ball to turn the corner. The difference is the urethane ball is going to be early and smooth, which won't strike if you're not a high rev rate, and the short pin is a little more angular, which is what you need if you're not a high rev rate. You need a little more back end. So I believe that there's a place for both, and I think it's a function of how you throw the ball, which one you do. But you probably don't need both. You probably need one or the other.
Nope, you get good.
Web Tour Solid is pretty good. That ball was good.
Yeah, that ball was good.
But they don't make that anymore, so it didn't count. It didn't count anymore. I was gonna say, with respect to objective reviews, what are some examples of objective criteria that might be used to define good or bad ball performance? That's a good question. So I think that there are some things that we can do that are static, right? That are static with regard to these things. So like hardness. Hardness is a static test you could do that's non-destructive that would tell you whether or not the bowling ball is at least what everybody thinks it's supposed to be, right? We have some other tools. RG, we can check RG and differential. Those are other objective criteria that could help, validate the performance characteristics of the bowling ball. I think there are some ways you can do some other objective measurements as well. You could put bowling balls through a specific test that is repeatable and then see how they kind of perform in that test and use that as some objective criteria. And as long as all the balls the same, right? You could have all the balls at the same surface as an example and then see how they perform. So there's some things that you can do like that are really simple that just I don't really see a whole lot of people doing those things that will give you some objective criteria immediately that you can check to say, okay, well, yes, this is in line with what the company is saying it is, or no, it's not. And it's a very black and white type thing. I think there's going to be we have some cool technology that we've acquired here that I think when people see it, it will shock you a little bit in terms of what we're going to be able to do from an objective standpoint. But that's the goal, because the more objective it is, then it's not opinionated. It's just what the data says. What do you feel about ball companies that are now on the PBA approved list? Do you agree tests should be done on all approved balls, no matter if the PBA approved or not? I mean, USPC approves the balls regardless. The PBA, in order to use it in that organization, it's got to be, you got to be registered with the PBA. So I think that's fine. They're the ones that own that organization. They can do what they want with their rules. But in terms of a bowling ball being approved, any bowling ball that is used in competition has to go through and is approved by USPC. And I think that's the key for everybody else, because you don't have to be on the PBA tour to be successful. It helps. It's not a requirement, but you have to have some sort of way to have some sort of approval to know if you can use it in league or not, or else you may have some really weird stuff happening. So I believe that the PBA does what they do because they should, and it makes a lot of sense. And I also believe that USBC is the governing body, and they do what they do, which is approve all the bowls. What else we got? Oh, look at this. Chloe's asking a question. Do you prefer a high rev rate or a low rev rate when doing ball testing? Well, that's a great question, actually. What I can tell you is a high rev rate will show more difference than a low rev rate. So if you really want to see differences in between the balls, you need a higher rev rate bowler. The lower the rev rate, the closer the distances are between them. So that's not good if you're trying to show difference. So I probably, for the testing, we probably would prefer a higher rev rate bowler just so we can see some more difference. Knowing that with the lower rev rate, like I said, you just won't see as much difference.
What do you like from the Motive lines and some of the lesser known brands?
Motive's got some pretty amazing equipment. My favorite ball from Motive is a Venom Shock, without question. Like, without question. I actually ordered 2 of those last week or 2 weeks ago. I ordered 2 for my personal use. I like that ball a lot. I think they've got some newer pieces that are solid too. I think that they produce some very exceptionally good-looking product, and they've got some technology that they're working with that is pretty cool. I'm excited to see the new Jackal. Kind of excited to see what they do with that. There was a ball that they had I liked a lot too. Paranoia, I think it was Paranoia. That ball was really good. That ball was super angular. I was surprised at how angular that ball was. So yeah, same thing. I think all companies make definitely some good bowling balls in there, and they all make some great bowling balls if you know which ones to get. And that's kind of the way the business has kind of evolved to. I think 900 Global's got some great bowling balls too. There was that original Badger, Honey Badger, was really, really good. That ball was really, really good. And they've got a few other pieces that are solid too. So I think that the key is quantifying. The key is being able to come up with testing or being able to come up with some sort of educational tool that allows you, the consumer, to know if this is the direction you should go or you should look a different direction. So we're going to really, really work hard to do that. Really work hard to do that.
Lots of questions tonight.
See that they're just rolling in. That's good, man. Mm-hmm. That's good.
Here's one. Ron, have you bowled with the Vapor Zone? And if so, do you like it?
I do like the Vapor Zone. I think it's a little bit early. It's a stronger piece for sure, a little bit early. But I do like that ball. It is a ball actually that I use when I'm going to tournaments and I know I'm going to bowl with some heavy oil. What else we got? I see some more on here.
Yeah, here's one. What do you think of the Hustle line by Rotogrip? I've been throwing mostly symmetrical balls and going away from asymmetrical. Is that a bad choice?
No, I'm actually a fan of symmetrical balls more so than the asymmetrical balls, because the asymmetrical balls, when they work, they're great, but they put you in a window. The asymmetrical balls, what asymmetry does, like what asymmetry in general does, is it helps to create earlier hook. That's what it does. So that can be good, maybe if you're in the right environment, you're playing the right part of the lane, yada, yada, yada. But long term, that's definitely not the best way to go. At some point, the lanes will break down. And once they break down, the symmetrical ball will 9 times out of 10 always be the one to go to. There are a couple exceptions and a couple styles that make exceptions too. Same thing. If you're lower rev rate, super high ball speed, then the asymmetrical balls are probably more your style of bowling ball and less of the symmetric. But most people, the overwhelming majority, probably a symmetrical ball drilled the right way or the right symmetrical ball picked would be a better option and be able to use a lot longer too. Fred said he likes the big bro flexing by Swag. So I haven't seen that ball or used it or heard it. I mean, I've heard of it, but I've never used it. So But we'll let you get the shout out to the swag brand. That's cool. We like all brands. What advice would you give to a youth bowler? As myself, I'm trying to be on the PBA tour. Practice. Lots and lots of practice. We had this conversation a couple of weeks ago, but the best bowlers in the world, they bowl all the time. When you look at Belmo, when you look at EJ Tackett, when you look at Norm Duke, they all grew up in bowling centers. All of them. They grew up bowling. So what that really means, in short, is that they practice. They practice more than everybody else. And that's a key if you want to be as good as or be part of the best in the world. You got to be able to repeat. You got to be able to read lanes. You got to be able to understand the game. And the only way to make that happen is to practice. Like, there's no other way to do it.
Yeah. Lots and lots of work.
Practice and experience, right? Bowling on stuff, going to things, learning things. That's the only way you're going to get better.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you from personal experience, you're not going to gain hardly – well, you will, but not going to gain hardly anything in terms of experience unless you go experience it and have those weekends where it's like, I never want to do this again.
Yeah, there is no substitution for experience. Like, there's no way to get there. Like, you can buy all the bowling balls you want. You can read all the things you want to read. You can watch as many videos as you want. But unless you go out there and do it, you're never gonna get there.
Yeah, I mean, if you practice, go to tournaments, and then once you start to get in the groove, that first cash or win or whatever it may be, it's going to feel a lot sweeter because you know you worked really hard for it.
Yep. I agree with that 100%. I think that's the key, man. If you want to get better, you got to go bowl. Period, point blank, end of story. And some things that'll help accelerate that is by getting some good coaching, which is one that we're going to offer here. We're going to offer some good quality coaching at the EC when we're open. And we got some cool tools that we'll be able to employ to allow you to be able to get a little bit of a shorter learning curve on some of the things you have to be able to do to be a high-level bowler. So.
Yeah, going off of practicing, constructive practice is super important. Not going in and bowling 3 games, but going in and working on spare shooting and targeting and launch angles. Like, that is super, super important rather than just going in and throwing shots. You got to have a structured practice.
Yep, without question. Uh-oh, look at this.
What kind of balls do I like to use? So now I'm throwing, like, if I go to league, I'm throwing a lot of mid-performance balls, IQ Tour for the most part, but with a lot of surface. So the reason I do that is because there isn't a lot of volume, so I need something that's going to read it but slow down once it exits the pattern, and that's why I use so much surface. But in the broader terms, I personally like stronger asymmetrics, especially when I was at school. I would say two or three of the 4 reactive balls I had in my bag for tier 1s, so you get 5 balls for tier 1s, were asymmetrics. Paradox was asymmetric, right?
Yep, Paradox was asymmetrical. Yep.
Paradox, Red Legend Pearl. I love that ball so much. Brings back memories.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. I have a goal to one day be on a regional staff with a ball company. Do you have any tips?
Yeah, I mean, I think the big tip there is when you want to get on staff with a company, you need to figure out how you're going to help them grow their brand. You being on staff is you saying that you like them, you endorse them, you want to support them. How do you being on staff with them, how's it going to benefit the company? And then for that, if it's a ball company, then they're going to be willing to give you products for it, right? But at the end of the day, it's got to be a give and take. In any situation, any relationship, it's got to be give and take. So I think figuring out, what you bring to the table that they don't have, or what you bring to the table that can help them is the right way to look at it. It's not about being the best bowler. In contrary, it's actually less about being a great bowler. It's more about being a good person,
valuable to the brand.
Valuable to the brand, yeah. So that's what I would say. You got to figure out what you can bring to the table, because what you're looking for is free balls. So what are you going to bring to the table if they're going to give you free balls?
How do you view the difference between ball motion videos, the ones released by the manufacturer, compared to ball review videos?
So I think the ball motion videos from the manufacturers, they're kind of what you would expect. It's a commercial, right? They're built to be commercials, which is, that's what else would you ask for? Like they're trying to sell you something. So there can be some useful information out of those, because depending on how they do it, you can get some comparisons that may make sense for you. If you've got a ball that they're showing, or if you like a particular brand, it can give you some insight as to kind of how it all went down, so to speak. So there is some use there. I think the third party reviews, I like what JR is doing at Bowler X with his reviews. I think he does a good job. He's trying to give you some more insight, some more information, and I think all of that's good. At the end of the day, that's what it's supposed to happen. You need to have as much information as possible to make the decisions. I think the people that do ball reviews that are tied to a company are also, they're also biased. So that's not what I would call as clean data. That's not as clean as if somebody's doing it, but they aren't tied to a company. If you're getting bowling balls from company C and you don't like the bowling ball and you're doing ball reviews and you say, well, this ball sucks from company C, who's giving them to me for free because I'm on staff, you're probably not going to be on staff anymore. You know what I mean? So but it's also bad for the consumer, because if that ball really does suck, then the consumer should know to stay away from that and get one of their good balls.
Yeah.
So it's a very tricky situation. And I think that people are in a weird position, because it's hard to be able to decide if you should trust these people with the review or not, because if they're biased, then obviously that kind of makes it a little bit hard to really know what to do. And we want to kind of help with that a little bit. That's kind of our goal. Graham says, we have Specto. Yes, we have Specto. We got Specto at the Education Center. So come on down when we're open and check it out. You want to see Specto?
Yeah.
No, you don't. You ain't ready to see Specto yet.
Come on now.
Nah, I'm not gonna show
you. Come on,
Ronnie. This guy. Right? I'll show you real quick. I'll show you. So one of the things that we're doing, we've got some cool things that we're working on. Now, this building's still a mess, so you guys can get like a quick peek, and then that's going to be it. We'll go back into the other room. But, one of the cool things that we're doing is we're looking at doing some things a little bit differently and a little more cutting edge, a little more techie, a little more what I call dope, because this is definitely dope. So I'm going to show you this real quick. Go right back into what we was doing. You ready?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
Look at this. You look at other people calling me Ronnie, man. Y'all ain't no good, bro. So one of the things that we've been working on, like I said, we're not 100% complete, and we're definitely not open, but we're getting it in process, is this right here.
Woo!
That's dope, isn't it?
That's spicy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we have a nice little partnership with Clutch Bowling, and they are helping us get our little lane set up the right kind of way. You know what I'm saying? So when you come check us out, you're going to be able to see some really, really cool stuff. We got some cool stuff playing with them. They got some cool stuff playing with us. And when we launch it, she's going to be nice. She's going to be real nice. So, yeah, we got Specto. Specto's actually hooked up to the Clutch system so that the data can be kind of shared back and forth, and it helps to allow us to be able to communicate some technology and some things that we want to do here specifically. So it's going to be real, real different when you come to this building. I can tell you that. So, yeah, see, people see what's going on with the Clutch. Clutch is very nice, very nice. So That's one of the things that I'm really excited about. And I think when people get to see what we got planned with them, what we're gonna do with them, whoo, she gonna be nice. So anyway.
So David says, are those lights?
Yeah, it's a projector system. So it's a projector system that can project anything that we need to on the lane. If you can dream it, we can do it. I'm gonna have them do some wild stuff. I'm telling you right now, we're gonna be the first company to do ball reviews in the dark. We're gonna do. Matter of fact, we might just call it that. Maybe we should go ahead and. Hey, Allie, we should probably buy that name. Darkballreviews.com. We should probably buy that before somebody goes and steals it and then wants to sell it to us for $1,000. That's actually happened before too, by the way. There's some really bad people. There's some really bad people in bowling. There's a lot of good ones, but there's some really bad people in bowling. So we'll just leave it at that. He said, "Oh, let's see the outside sign. Is it dark? Is it dark outside?"
I don't think so.
Oh, we don't think it's dark enough yet.
If it's dark, just
We don't think it's dark enough. Dark yet.
you say smart.
No, I said dark.
Smart ball reviews.
Smart ball reviews?
What did you just
I said dark. We're gonna be bowling in the dark.
Whoa.
She thought I said smart ball reviews.
Okay.
I mean, you can go buy that one too. Go buy smart ball reviews too. Look. That's what we're gonna do. When we do our first ball review, it might have to be on Taco Tuesday.
Don't sing it.
Hey, hold on, hang on. The clutch guy's still here. Hold on 1 second. He's like my new friend. Hey, Jeff. Can you make tacos on the lane? Yeah, not right this second, but you can do it. So he said he can put tacos on the lane. So we're gonna have Taco Tuesday on the lane. He's gonna make a taco follow the bowling ball. That's how dope he is. This guy can do just about anything you can imagine. So he's gonna have a taco follow your ball down the lane, and then the ball's gonna spit out all the toppings of the taco as it goes down the lane. That's what I'm talking about. And then we can play the Taco Tuesday song when we do that ball review. I like it. Good idea. Good idea. So now we got some cool. What?
That's what it looks like right now.
Oh yeah. You want? Oh, the sign's on. We got all kinds of stuff going on. Look at this. Look at it. Let me show you how dope the clutch system is. Like I said, this is just a little taste. We're not really supposed to be showing all this, but you guys are fans and we like you guys. So I'm gonna give you a little taste. Look. You see that?
That's
We got
sick.
the Earth, we got the moon, we got planes and trains and automobiles. I think you can go swimming on that lane right there. You can go swimming over there. And then I think over here we got nope, wrong way.
Oh, thanks, bud.
Oh, we got a little paint going down the lane. See, I'm telling you, we got some awesome stuff happening. We got American flags over there because this is definitely America. You know what I'm saying? We got that going. So it's gonna be. I'm telling you right now, when we actually get this thing cracking, she's gonna be cracking. People are gonna be like, "What are they doing? How are they doing that?" Well, it's because my man over here. That's how. All right. He's gonna make it to Taco Tuesday. I'm telling you, and we're gonna do it. Well, that's what we're gonna do. We'll do a bar review on a Tuesday. We'll have tacos here. We'll do it in the dark, and we'll just have tacos following the ball down the lane. See, you guys help create something right there for us. I like it. Oh, look at this one. Look at this one, Dustin. You might want to look at this one right here. Instead of a turkey strike, how about a steak dinner? Well, Dustin knows quite a bit about buying steak dinners. Don't you, Dustin?
Yeah. Well, I got different scenery. It's getting dark
You
outside.
done changed it up on me.
Yeah, it's
You
getting
in
dark.
the basement now?
Yeah.
You in the basement. I'm surprised you still got Wi-Fi down there.
Yeah, bro. I'm like right below the router. So.
Router? Okay. Let's look at this. Look at this. Every time Dustin calls you Ronnie, Dustin needs to take a sip of some of that hot sauce. That's for sure. He's coming back here he coming in 2 weeks?
Week and a yeah, 2 weeks. 2 weeks from yesterday.
2 weeks. And then we'll have to figure out something. We got some more hot sauces coming. As a matter of fact, somebody said they were sending me a hot sauce, that they said they wanted to send one for us to add to the list of hot sauces.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, we're going to do something. But yeah, we might have that darkbowlingballreviews.com or something. Or bowling in the dark. There you go, bowlinginthedark.com.
There you go.
Bowling in the dark. Where is the education center located? It is in lovely Hopkinsville, Kentucky, which is 1 hour west of Nashville, Tennessee. You'd fly into Nashville.
1 hour north?
What?
You said 1 hour west.
Northwest.
I mean, it is west.
Okay.
I mean, there's a little bit of north, but it's mostly west.
All right.
So you fly into Nashville, Tennessee. It's about an hour drive, not too bad. And it allows you to come right to us. There's hotels over here. They're putting in some sort of gambling too. Is it a?
Oh yeah, it opens on September 18th.
September 18th. They're putting in some
It's a racino.
Racino. So casino and racing and
gambling
and hotel and all that kind of stuff. So, if you have that kind of thing going on, you can come do that too. But we're not open yet. We're not done yet. There's some things that have to be done here before we can officially open. But you guys we're the first to be able to see what we got going on with Clutch. I'm really excited to partner with them, and there's some really good guys and super smart guys, dude. Like they got some sharp technology, and we're excited to be able to leverage it and show the world kind of a little bit about what can happen when you start putting some tech behind some of the things that you got going on. So looking forward to that.
Yep.
So Andrew's in East Tennessee. Not a bad drive. So once we get open, man, we're going to have a little process for letting people come in here. But once we get it going, it'll be, it should be good. It should be good for people coming in, wanting to check out what we're doing, see what's going on, that kind of stuff. So definitely. Oh, is the sign ready?
It's on.
Oh, so now I'm being told that we can look at the sign too.
And we also.
Did the back sign work? So let me tell you about the signs real quick.
But the sun's
So
coming from that way.
we have two signs, right? We have a sign on the front that's actually backlit. So that's the sign we're going to go look at now. But then there's a sign on the back of the building, which actually faces the west side, right? Faces west, like exactly due west. And that side of the building, we have a non-backlit sign, but there's a light on the sign. So if you're driving on the highway or whatever, you can still see the building, and you'll be able to see, where we are. So let's go check out the sign that we bought. We're gonna go out to the front real quick. Let me see. I might have to. Well, that's fine. You can only see the ceiling. There's certain things you're not allowed to see quite yet, so I've got to keep it on the ceiling at this point. So you look at my ceiling though. Ceiling looks good.
That's pretty.
Yeah. Oh, again. All right. Yeah, can't see this part over here either. Still working on it. Bang. Okay, now we're outside. Let's see the sign. Woo!
Oh, that's sweet.
Look at that. Hang on, let me see if I can. Let me get it straight. Get it straight, Ron. There we go. Look at that. Woo! I haven't seen it. I want to see it myself. Oh, yeah. She look good.
Oh, it's really good.
She look good. So that's it. Hang on. Get it right. There we go. Look at that. Yes. So good news is it works. That's exciting. It looks good. I need to take a picture of that for later. So that's cool. That's definitely cool.
Yeah, that's very nice.
Yeah, man. So see, you guys are getting all kinds of like little inside sneak peeks. Now I got to pop this up again. You can't see what's going on again. Got to go back to the ceiling tile. So yeah, we got all kinds of little things coming though. All kinds of little cool things coming. So you just gotta keep checking out, man. Oh, look at this. Look at this. We got a little. Look at this. Labor Day is coming. They put the little Easter eggs. You never know what we'll do. There could be, maybe there's some Easter egg action for it. You never know. So we're looking to try to shoot. I said August. Obviously, we're halfway through, almost all the way through August. So now I'm saying September. We're close. We're getting real close. So it's going to be soon, very, very soon, when we'll actually officially be open. So. Fred said he got a parking spot. He said, go ahead and mark the first parking spot for me. We'll do. We got you. So it's going to be good, man. I'm trying to put some cool stuff in here that I can't tell you quite yet, but it's very, very different. People will be like, what is that? Oh, wow. Got some cool stuff coming. We got a sound system all throughout the building, Fred. It goes actually throughout the entire building. That was here when Ebonite was here, so it's good. It's good. Definitely be able to make some noise for sure. Dustin, I can't give him no more hints, bro. We got to go. This is long enough. We did way too much. I gave way too much away, so you got to cut us off now.
Well, you gave him the hints. I didn't force you into it.
Nah, I mean it was me. It was me, but it was definitely cool. I had to show him something. I just saw it like 20 minutes ago. I thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
So, we got another question. Do you drill your own bowling balls? So I used to. Now I've actually got a guy that works for us, Dave. Dave actually drills all the bowling balls. He drills mine. He drills Dustin's. He drills pretty much everybody who works here. So we got a guy. So anyway, Dustin, that's it.
That's it.
Cut it off. Yeah, man. Cut it off. They gotta come back next week.
All right.
Yeah, that's it.
Thanks,
Hold on. Marcus got a question. Last question. Have you found any EBI relics since you've been there? We got a couple of relics. Yes, we found some. A couple of things. We'll end up showing those off too. Like I said, we got some cool stuff playing. We just gotta get this thing done. That's all there is to it. So, but that's it, Dustin. No more.
All right. You sure?
No, Gary got a question. Gary got a question too. Got to answer the question. How important is it for coaches, trainers, instructors to be cross-trained in different coaching methodologies? I think it's a big deal. I think people learn more than one way, and I think it's important to be able to understand different modalities that coaches use to be able to teach at least the concepts, because then maybe you may find a way that makes more sense for one person to teach them versus somebody else. Some people are more visual, some are more talking it through, just all kinds of different ways. So I think understanding different ways that people learn and then being cross-trained is a huge, huge advantage when it comes to coaching and getting people to get those points across. So, we got another question. Will we be able to get balls drilled at the EC? I would show you the pro shop, but that's too much. That's just way too much. But yeah, we got 2 drill presses here. We got 2 very nice drill presses here. We will be able to drill bowling balls for people at the EC. So now, Dustin, cut it off. That's it. We're done.
I'm going to give you like 30 seconds.
No. That's it. We're done. No more questions.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. Of course, CtD Tech Thursdays every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, on our Facebook page as well as Ron's YouTube channel. If you haven't done so already, like the Facebook page, subscribe to the YouTube channel, make sure your notifications are on so you get notified not only when we go live, but as well as when new videos are released. And of course, once the EC gets up and running, there will be lots of notifications for those videos. So, you have anything else to add?
No, that's it, man. I'm done.
All right. You sure?
Yeah, that's it. That's
all
enough.
Right. Going once, going twice.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's all I got.
All right. So we'll talk to everyone soon. Have an awesome night and stay safe.
See you later.